So today I'll speak on a different topic which is very important in audiology and also in the neurological sciences and cognitive sciences. The topic is neuroscience approach to tinnitus and what is the minimum or maximum or what is the range of roles of audiologist in that. I'm Dr. Indranil Chatterjee. I'm working in AYJNISHD National Institute of Speech and Hearing Disabilities, Dibanjan, in Regional Center, Kolkata. And these are my two alma maters. That is the headquarter in Mumbai. And I'm working, and also it is in undergraduate level, I have studied here in my audiology and speech language pathology. I have started my career from Kolkata, AYJNISHD, and it is my post-graduation and PhD I have done from my Mumbai center. So both are my alma mater. So starting from this particular model, that is how we can define tinnitus. So tinnitus is the perception of noise or ringing in the ears. A common cause of tinnitus is inner ear hair cells damage mainly, but the cause can be from the external ear to the brain anywhere. And in the particular point is that this particular perception of noise will be present in absentia of external noise. So there should not be any external sound, but still you are perceiving some noise or some different type of sounds. So there may be different symptoms of sounds, like it may be ringing, buzzing, roaring, clicking, hissing, humming. There are two types of tinnitus. One, subjective tinnitus caused by abnormal nerve activity in auditory cortex, and you can perceive it as a the sound in the externality is not there. So it is basically central gain theory, where the limbic system and cortical level, the sounds gains are matched. If there is mismatch, or the limbic system or something, this firing is not matched, so you are getting the higher gain or you are getting the tinnitus. So it is a very important theory. And another is the objective tinnitus. It is caused by any physiological process near middle ear, like muscle spasms or glomus jugular tumor, some vascular clauses or pulsatile tinnitus, etc. So tinnitus, basically it is a perception of noise. So it is subjective in nature, but there is some literatures that there where objective tinnitus are also present. So what does tinnitus sound like? It may be buzzing, it may be running an engine, metal grinding, wind or a fan, hissing, fluorescent light sound like blick, 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 this type of sound, a lot of sounds. So these are the patients are reporting in this type of different type of sounds. These are the area where we should target for therapy. Like one side, it is the auditory cortex, so primary or secondary auditory cortex, and the limbic system, like the thalamocortical pathway, hippocampus, amygdala, and other somatosensory pathways from cochlear nucleus. So it is anywhere in cochlear nucleus to the pathway. One pathway is the cerebellar pathway, one is the cortical pathway. In between there is a mesolimbic dopaminergic system, that is hippocampus, amygdala, cingulate gyrus, etc. And sometimes basal ganglia also. And most important, it is the extralemniscal input. It is very, very important. So in that way, so if you have a loud noise, perceptual noise, so you are getting tinnitus, so you will be very much distressful. You are having so many mood disorders, depression, anxiety, a lot of attention and consciousness issues, memory disturbances, emotional triggers, etc. So there are some central source of tinnitus. So like any eighth nerve dissections or eighth nerve disorders, that is sometimes it is also, you will get some in normal hearing persons also, that is a problem. Peripheral injury, some inhibition excitation patterns, mostly with reference to dorsal cochlear nucleus or inferior colliculus, and complex change in glutaminergic transmitter release in ipsilateral cochlear nucleus after noise exposure. Initially damaged hair cells, neural fibers degenerated, so there will be an increased glutaminergic release. So glutaminergic release means glutamate actually it reduces the gain always. So if there is a glutaminergic release, so there will be a faulty perception of sounds. 2 weeks later, the glutamatergic release is reduced and uptake is also reduced. 90 days later, there will be a long-term increment of the residual glutamatergic synapses. So this is the long-term chronic disability tinnitus. So these are the basic cause of the central sources of tinnitus. And you see there are a lot of different methods of management, like starting from the sound therapy, cognitive behavior therapy, tinnitus retraining therapy, then the photobiomodulation, that is neuromodulations, transcranial magnetic stimulation, electrical stimulations. There are some surgical things, nerve block, some drugs which can block amphetamine or sodium potassium channel. Caravarine is one drug, is very, very important. Or there are a lot of different methodologies are there. So latest methodologies are mostly either there is an hearing aids on implants, or there will be neuromodulations, or there is a sound therapy or cognitive behavior therapy. So there are a lot of different, or you can use combinations modes in where you are doing therapy. So now coming to the cognition. So this is very, very important for any tinnitus thing. So you can perceive wrong. You are reasoning, maybe you have some bad ideas that something is there in your brain. Sometimes you mostly judgmental that you are only the bad person in your environment. So you judge yourself as a wrong persons, a failed persons. You learn the bad things because it is a faulty neural plasticity, and you are always remembering that something is happening, and that gives you some very bad thoughts. So Jastrabov, the pioneer in the model, tinnitus retraining therapy model, he has given a lot of methods that there is this limbic triggers, there is the cortical triggers, and definitely there is a mixing point where you are having the sounds which you want to suppress, that is called sound enrichment. And also you are getting your own sound, that is the perceptual aberrations, that is the tinnitus. So somehow it is mixing. So you are actually habituating. So actually you are training your limbic system that these particular sounds are not bad. So gradually your discomfort is reduced and your loudness tolerance is increased. So that is the basic methods of the mixing point, that is the TRT. But sometimes we are used tinnitus masking, that is called tinnitus suppression, means the above level we are giving the sounds. So the internal sound may be suppressed. That is called sound masking therapy. So there are two different philosophy. One is the mixing point, it is TRT, where you have to give the counseling, directive counseling and sound enrichment, where you can and have to provide the mixing point, but both the sound you are hearing at the same point and ultimately you are habituating. Another one is the suppression, where we can provide the maximum sounds within your tolerance level so that your internal sound has been suppressed. So that is another philosophy. So this is the area that there are a lot of methods are there, how your stress, cortisol can disturb your habituations, how stress is a control group is having they can manage, but in the tinnitus group they have a very huge sensitivity. So because of the different hormonal considerations, because of the dopaminergic disturbances, serotonergic disturbances, glutamate activities is very high, and cortisol imbalance. So if there is an inner hair cells loss like dead region, so the response of basilar membrane is very, very different, maybe in the pure tone, and you are getting a lot of aberrant sounds of pure tone. Like your sounds is not actually it is a sound, it is like a noise or some aberrant signals. So that is one part. I and my one colleague, we have studied in P300. This is one event-related potentials. That is that potentials we have used. P300 is the late evoked potentials, and we have got there is a plenty of after giving TRT and other therapy, we have got there is an decrement of the loudness, and that is improvised with the different tests like P300. You see the mean value of the amplitudes are reduced over the time. The latencies are also increased, and there will be lot of THI scores are in the odd ratio. That is also the decreased after this particular therapy. And you see the Montreal Cognitive Assessment when we have done with the THI, it is another study. the Korean study, and we have they have found that this is also decreasing, and but there is some heterogeneity is there in their findings. So mostly our study is contributing, or somehow it is supporting the study of some Korean group of studies given by Lee et al. And this is another part that the same studies has been carried out over the P300 in the different channels, and they have got some pooled data of standard deviations, but still the P300 latency has less control compared to the amplitudes. See, this is the control subjects, and these are the tinnitus subjects, and these are the time duration. So H frequency, that is the where the particular drop is there. So that is shifted if you are providing the different TRT therapy. It has been studied given by Barriott et al. In 2020, mostly latest study. Morse et al. Has given a study, and he has actually made one review, meta-analysis review, and there are a lot of studies like from 2015 to 2017, like this is an acoustic change complex P1, N1, P2. It is also the latency is, the amplitude is reduced in tinnitus subjects, MMN is reduced, the peak one, that is mostly mimicking the cochlear microphonics, that is also reduced in the tinnitus group. So this is basically the tinnitus group. Always you will get the blue color line. It is things, but sometimes it is the P1 latency, sometimes it is increased because this two study, Barger and Barger, they have given that it is increased. So there are a lot of studies are there, and different research, they have given different findings. Acoustic change complex is basically, it is also a late evoked potentials coming from thalamus and the other different cortical zone, medial geniculate body also, and found that tinnitus patients, they have amplitudes are very sharp, and their latency is delayed, and after therapy these have been improved. So that is one group. So another one that in cognitive level, when we have studied with reference to how it is perceived, how the life events are there, how personality and coping styles are there, and how orientations to the body and mind is there. So the brain activity is definitely, it has been challenged through if the person is having hearing loss. Then the tinnitus is giving some more provoking situations. So stress reactions are much more because of the neuronal hyperactivity. And definitely that leads to psychological stress because of the limbic cortical associations. And psychological stress means sometimes it is mental stress. So you may lose the cognitive functions like attentions, memory, or you will be always alert and anxious, or you may be depressed or mood swing. And sometimes the loudness tolerance, even in the normal persons, normal hearing persons, they have a difficulties in loudness tolerance. So even more stress reactions. So these particular things are actually contributing to tinnitus distress, and it is a severe tinnitus distress. That is the Jastrow model, where we are getting the severe tinnitus distress leading to sleep disturbances, intrusiveness, the hearing problem. Sometimes again it can proliferate the emotional stress and other somatic symptoms like the depression, mood swing, and the bodily sensations. Then some problems of like always you are feeling some, this called psychosomatic illness, etc. So there are so many limited resource capacity theories are there. So here they're saying that if you have a cognitive resources, if you rehearse, if you recall, if you comprehend things, and if you have a listening effort, definitely with reference to your background noise, hearing loss, or tinnitus, it will provide you a lot of cognitive setback as given by Lu et al. And he has studied a lot of tinnitus patients with reference to Montreal Cognitive Assessment, that is MoCA, and they have found that short-term memory, executive function, language abilities, naming skills, abstractions, attentions, even they may have a clock drawing test, poor performance in the clock drawing test, and also in orientation. So there are a lot of, if I summarize in this way, that what are the present scenario of the treatment. So one is the hearing aids. A lot of hearing devices are there where tinnitus modules are also there with the hearing aids. Some typical sound therapy devices are available like Neuromonic, Sound Cure applications, or different sound applications. And even in Android and iOS platform, these are available. Therapy and counseling, that is mostly we are doing as an audiologist, and also we can making some combo with the psychological things. So we can use TRT and CBT in a different trial. Sometimes we do mindfulness based tinnitus relief, and sometimes the combination holistic approach. And the latest treatments are maybe laser or repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulations, repetitive transcranial direct current stimulations, or deep brain stimulations. And those studies are also we are doing with the different institutes like some All-India Institute of Medical Science. We are collaborating some researches, and still we are having few data only. So I cannot tell in this particular time that what is the data, but still we have started our work. But what we are doing now in the day-to-day part, that is the auditory modality. We are giving a lot of maskers. We use maskers, hearing aids, or some we can use gen sounds. We can use masking. We can use TRT with the directive counseling. Sometimes we use cognitive behavior therapy, and also tinnitus retraining, etc. So we do a lot of points. So what are the evidence-based practice means? Evidence-based practice, sometimes we use practice-based evidence also. So when we are practice, we should always keep the evidence. So it is evidence-based practice means we should always, we have to be graceful about the patient values. We should provide patient values. We should get the best scientific evidence from the literature, and our expertise, our experience, clinical experience, always it supports the patient's need. So this is the evidence-based practice. Based on that, we have to go for the research. So we have to act aptly, have to ask the questions. What are the research questions? We have to acquire different knowledge. Where is the world's positions in the neuroscience approach to tinnitus? We make an appraisals, and definitely we should apply the proper methodology for the study. So this is the evidence-based practice, and a lot of journals nowadays they are saying that the neuroscience tinnitus means a lot of different things with reference to abnormal perceptions of the sounds. And we have studied in our institute, even in my PhD orientations, that what is the best, whether tinnitus masking is best or tinnitus retraining therapy is best. So we found tinnitus deterring therapy is mostly based in case of normal tinnitus, because it provides a lot of cognitive stimulations, behavioral modifications, thought modulations, instead of only you are suppressing the tinnitus. This is one study. And sometimes we use app-based online TRT also. There are a lot of apps are there. So I prefer one mindfulness app, or sometimes we use the Resound app of the tinnitus Resound app, relief app. So those we have studied, and we have found a lot of app-based tinnitus retraining therapy also. They are providing a lot of good results, and patients may not come to the clinic all the times, but still they are getting the good results. One study we have done about the tinnitus masking. This is a suppression's efficacy with how it provides the auditory brainstem response results. We have got a challenging findings, and we have done ANOVA in the P less than 0.05. So pre and post, even the peak latency differences we got. So it is not that ABR objectively we cannot assess the improvement, but we have found that definitely tinnitus masking therapy has some influences on the auditory brainstem responses peak. We have studied a lot of tinnitus masking residual inhibition studies of 30 minute study, then 20 minute study, 10-minute study, and different sensational level, 10 dB SL of suppressions for 30 minutes, for 20 minutes, for 10 minutes. Then 20 dB sensational level of suppressions, again for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and also the 30 dB SL. So we got the best results in about the 20 dB. So these are the lot of researches in that level we got. And we use auditory evoked potentials in MLR studies also. MLR also gives a lot of impetus with reference to chronic tinnitus. And we have got a very good results that tinnitus can influence the MLR peak, latency, and amplitude both. So now I move my therapeutic part from the tinnitus masking, TRT hearing aids. I can shift my thoughts to the cognitive behavior therapy approach. And based on that, we want to improve the stress level, improve the tinnitus level also, habituate that, and we should provide some treatment with reference to revert back the sleep pattern. And that is the conglomerations of this particular methodology of ABC of cognitive behavior therapy. That is the thoughts. Maybe it is the automatic wrong bad thoughts. So you still provide some lot of good behaviors and your feelings are improved. So these are the different studies we have done, and we have got that after therapy of at least 16 to 20 sessions, some changes has been happened after the things. So I have got, and this is the groundbreaking things that I have got one study given by Hasir Az and Brian C.J. Moore, and I got the book from them. And they have mentioned that audiologists delivered cognitive behavior therapy for tinnitus. So it is not pertaining to only psychologists, but yes, if there is a very huge problem, suicidal attempt or any other things, so then definitely psychiatric or psychological things are there. But at a very preliminary level, definitely we can start with cognitive behavior therapy because it helps the patients a lot. And we have a lot of scales are there to measure their cognitive efforts and automatic thoughts and the catastrophizing, etc. And during the COVID-19 outbreak, we have studied one mindfulness-based stress reductions. This is an 8-week based study through online mode and allowing a tinnitus retraining therapy. So when we are providing the combinations with mindfulness-based tinnitus stress reduction and tinnitus retraining, that is sound-based therapy, we have got a lot of changes and very much changes in mostly in the cognitive area. Habituation is very fast and it has been stabilized. Mostly when we are doing tinnitus masking, the problem is initially maybe few patients are very much improved, but after few days later when we withdraw the treatment, sometimes it comes back again. So long-term follow-up, the results are very poor. But when we are using combinations with the mindfulness-based tinnitus stress reductions along with tinnitus retraining therapy, definitely the stabilization impact is very high. So what are the food for thought in this particular thing? So we have found a lot of meta-analysis, systematic reviews, etc. We got one is neuromodulation methods. That is the new one. So we can provide the neuromodulations to the dorsomedial frontal lobe, and we can stimulate that. So there are a lot of stimulation methods are there. One linear things are there. We can produce stimulations to the vagus nerve. That is the vagus nerve stimulations, and it directly stimulates the auditory cortex. So it is one type of methods of neuromodulation. So audiologists are doing a lot of researches, but there are some mixed results are there. Maybe the improvement is seen in low to mid pitch, but high pitch tinnitus, the improvements are not so much promising, though that is the one point. So vagus nerve stimulations paired with tones for tinnitus suppression, that is also there. And they have found if we mix up with the vagus nerve stimulation along with the audiological tinnitus masking with or the neuromonics treatment, neuromodulation with the acoustics neuromodulations through some sounds, the results are promising. So see the imaging, the PET scan imaging before, lot of brain stimulations, but after the giving therapy of combinations therapy, it reduced. So distress are reduced. So there are a lot of studies at the research literatures are there where non-invasive brain stimulations are reporting. We are also started doing the non-invasive brain current stimulations and magnetic stimulations also, but our reports are not so good. So it has been just started. There are some collaborative researches we have started, and maybe another 1 or 2 years we can provide those data. So this is the neuromodulation approach. So we can stimulate the tongue, and there is a trigeminal nerve, and it goes to the central auditory system through the different ventral cochlear stream or dorsal cochlear stream, and it stimulates the auditory cortex. So it is a one technique. And definitely there are a lot of researches that shows neurofeedback training has the potentials to reduce the severity of tinnitus or even eliminate it. So this is the new challenge in the neuroscience which we are providing to the patients. So we should start giving neuromodulation therapy like maybe the direct current, maybe the transcranial magnetic stimulations. And actually, when we are stimulating through pinna or through tongue or through directly to the brain, actually it stimulates the ventral cochlear nucleus sometimes, the jugular ganglions, spiral ganglion cells, and also the DLMFPC, means dorsolateral frontomedial cortex. So there are a lot of researches on same aspects, that when uh, we are talking about distress. Distress means always distress is the more loudness of tinnitus. So if we reduce the loudness of tinnitus, means is the relaxing. So a lot of invasive versus non-invasive electrical ear stimulation are also studied. Sometimes they are operating and putting the chip into the brain, and that stimulates. That is called brain pacemaker. Also, that is also working. But for tinnitus, people may not go for the surgery, but still trials are going on in the animals, even in the human models, and getting some promising results of very high level tinnitus, which is disabling. And also some patients are having suicidal attack, or they are having psychiatric issues. So that case, neurosurgeons may do the invasive procedures. But non-invasive procedures are also give good results, even when we are using some acoustic neuromodulations. Even in case of the tonic and burst stimulation, it gives also the promising results. So there are a lot of studies with reference to the magnetic stimulations, direct current stimulations through the auricular nerve, from auricle we can give the stimulations, from tongue, trigeminal nerve we can give stimulations. So from auricle we can give mostly the vagal stimulations. It works very heavily. So we, and myself and my student my research scholar, the Ombika Bose, we have done a lot of inquiries and studies on with reference to mindfulness-based tinnitus stress reductions approaches, and we have developed a new module. Maybe it will take the patent because it is under the process of patenting. That is the Positrix. And if we patent this modified MBTSR as a patent, so it will be a very short length, means it is not like a 8 weeks protocol for MBTSR. So it is a modified mindfulness based tinnitus stress reduction. So it is reduced to 4 weeks maybe, and it will help the patients. So we have got a lot of patients that they are saying that it is if you reduce also the durations, it helps the patient. So MBTSR can be a approach. So our audiologist approaches, they are now doing the combinations with either the electrical or magnetic stimulations, or with the cognitive behavior therapy, including mindfulness-based therapy, or giving the traditional the tinnitus deterring therapy or tinnitus masking. So these are the challenging areas. Then what are the dose? How we have to combine? What are the different type of trial? It is a randomized control trial or not? What is the methodology? So a lot of things has to be done. So I can end these things by one note that my another student, Quell, she is doing her PhD, and I am guiding as a co-guide in the Northeastern Hill University, and he is doing the cognitive brain stimulation, single pulse transcranial magnetic stimulations in this part, and she is getting few promising results in some patients. So thank you for now. So if I get different results in the transcranial magnetic stimulations or transcranial current stimulations or CBT MBSR, definitely we can update in the next sessions. Thank you.